you kind of like switch off your brain or go somewhere else for a little bit. It's great. And so I think I ended up like running through like so many different fucking things this morning because it took me a few hours to like do all this stuff, right? And by the end of it, I'm like, I don't think I've spent so long with my own brain for a while. Because like, you know how like these days we all kind of like have like more or less at least some form of social media or some kind of like platform to entertain us. And at least like more and more I tend to encounter that like a lot of people, including myself, tend to have at least something going on in the background while doing something else, like a show. God, that was a shit harpoon. Get out of my inventory. Like a show or like a podcast or a book or something like that, like playing away, right? And most of us have kind of got like a distraction in the background. So a lot of the time I'm focused on the distraction instead of having like doing the task and having my thoughts and stuff. It was kind of actually refreshing having so long with my own fucking thoughts, because like I used to do that a lot in like regular day jobs, and I didn't realize just how much like productivity mentally I can process through in such a fucking short amount of time. And I'm like, I feel like 1 to 2 hours of like repetitive, well, visually repetitive tasks would be, I don't know what I could do in that amount of time, like logically speaking. Because like, as you guys know, like it's a mile a minute with my brain. I just like, whatever I'm thinking is whatever I'm saying and stuff, right? So you can kind of like see the pace in which I think, right? But imagine that, but then actually like working through tasks and planning, thoughts and research and all sorts of stuff, like calculations, analytics, like all kinds of fucking things. And I'm just like, goddamn. I guess I just never noticed that I did it before. Like when I was working and stuff, I just kind of like, I did it every day without thinking about it, I guess. But now it's not such a common task, because a lot of the time between like editing and stuff like that, like while I'm waiting for something to render, like I can watch a show or something like that, so I don't really have that like extra downtime. So I'm like hyper focused when I'm working, and then when I'm waiting for something, I don't have to amuse myself, because I can amuse myself with shows. Hold on. I need a drink. Hold up. I didn't realize I needed to cough until that was happening, but that's fine. Yeah, anyway. So basically, like, when I kind of like amuse myself with like, oh shit, with like videos and stuff like that, I kind of like, I would say I mentally switch off these days. Like, I sort of 100% focus on whatever the show is. Even if it's like just something in the background, I'm like pretty focused on it. Which is kind of like why there's been a couple of times I've said where like I want to watch a show, but I need to have 100% attention for that, and I don't have enough time to fit like said show, whatever it is, into whatever activity and stuff I'm doing. But yeah, trust me, I have this whole conversation ain't going nowhere. I don't have like a punctuation like endpoint to this. It was just a fascinating observation to me that like the awareness of what happens if I have a couple of hours back with my brain. Because like a lot of the time, I've said this before, is like sometimes like it's just nice to kind of like switch off and like, I don't know, I don't say that it's nice to watch TikTok, but I mean like it's the ability to switch off your brain for a little while and just like not think, which is what I get with that kind of thing. And this is, I guess, the like counter offer is like when I don't switch off, just how fucking much like information I fucking process through. Like the other realization too was also that I used to do it while I was working. So I'd be working on stuff, like getting paid to work on tasks, right? But at the same time also like writing stories and like mentally like writing stories and like I don't know.
I can't
that.
carry
No.
anymore.
Like, what else would I do? I guess, like, thinking through, like, character stuff,
Good afternoon.
exercise stuff, life plans, all sorts of stuff, I guess. It's weird to, like, stop and think about it, because, like, when I actually stop and think about it, I have to think about it. When I'm not thinking about it, it just, like, flies by like a fucking, like, I don't know, like, sped up TV show. The fuck are you doing, Phoenix? Phoenix is in my blinds, and he's, like, rustling. You guys hear some, like, crinkles and crackles and stuff? That's Phoenix in the blinds. He'll do that every so often, because, like, he can see this. He can see the, like, outside world here. Oh, and also, apparently, he's frisky. So Azula's in, like, she's not in the doorway, right? Azula and Phoenix are my cats for anybody that doesn't know. But Azula's, like, not really in the doorway, but Phoenix decided that he required to jump as high and far as possible over her to get out of the room. Even though it was not at all necessary. She's, like, upside down, like, backwards at the moment, so, like, she's not going anywhere. She's, like, very comfortably upside down at the minute. But, I don't know, I guess he begs to differ. What did we do earlier? I made Azula a tiny one of her, like, paper. What are they called? They're like a decorative tissue paper ball. That's it. So the things that you would see, like, hanging at, like, a wedding or a graduation or a birthday or something like that, right? And ooh, I bought a few, I guess, a year or two ago, and I keep finding them, like, in my sock drawer. I keep finding more and more of them. Like, I must have bought, like, a good handful when I bought them, and I just kind of, like, stuffed them underneath my socks in the drawer, and I'm like, oh, I'll get them out whenever I need them. And I thought I only had, like, the really big ones, which are, like, kind of like the size of a body, right? But then I found, like, this little cluster of, like, small ones in there, and I'm like, I wonder how big those, like, get, because I don't think it would have been too small for the original small one that I got her. But it was so tiny, this, like, tissue paper ball thing. She couldn't even hold it and, like, boof it with her back legs. Like, you know how cats do that whole, like, bunny kicking thing, right? Yeah, she couldn't even hold on to it. That's how, like, small the little, like, paper ball thing was. And she fucking loves them. So when I was, like, constructing it, I had 100% of her attention. And Phoenix doesn't generally care for them, but he does like yellow and orange colored objects. So this one happened to be yellow. And so when I started playing with Azula, he was actually pretty fascinated with it. Not because of what it was, not how it rustled or moved, or none of that shit. It was just like, oh, it's this, like, really interesting, like, yellow colored object. Like, he must be able to see, like, yellows and oranges pretty well, I suspect. Whereas we were wondering, what was the color that we thought Azula couldn't see the other day? It was really, really light blue. That's right. Because we got her a pom-pom, and she acted like she couldn't see it. But then again, like, to be fair, it was very, very close to the color of the bedspread. So, like, the bedspread was white, but it was that kind of, like, pale,
I can't carry anymore.
really, really pale blue kind of thing. So it's fair if she couldn't see it. But yeah, she's taken to, for some reason, she is fascinated with my hair ties now.
Hello.
So I keep losing my hair ties. That's just fucking natural for me, right? But I keep finding Azula bringing me hair ties. And it's really sweet, except that she doesn't actually want me to have them. So Tail stops wagging, falls asleep snugly, wolf blush, the paws being held. No. I hope you sleep well, Viking. Yeah, so Azula has a bit of a fascination with my hair ties at this point. And so basically, like, I'll have a shower or something like that, and I'll hear her, like, playing with something, and I'll come back and find that, like, she's basically, like, running around with a hair tie in her mouth. And then she'll, like, hold it down with her paw. And you know how, like, you ever seen a cat, like, pulling something that's stretchy? And, like, you're just waiting for, like, one end or the other to let go and, like, snap? Kind of thing, like, to, like, you know, I don't know, wrap them across the knuckles in the face or something like that. It's like that, except like I don't want her to get hurt from it because she seems to like playing with it. And I'm just like, it's fine, she can have my hair ties. I just bought a new pack. I don't know where the rest of my hair ties are. I found one was in my bed and I don't know where the other fucking 20 are. Like, I'm not one of those people that takes off a hair tie and puts it on a surface. I have a very specific spot on like my Duchess that I take them off and put them on so that I can find them and use them again. But also, depending on apparently the shampoo that I use, my hair is apparently soft enough that the fucking hair tie just fucking slides away into obscurity. So that's the problem that I have specifically at the moment, is that I keep, like, they keep falling out and I don't notice. Don't ask me how I don't notice, but it's one of those things where if you have like really long hair and shit, right, you just kind of like, oh, hair's up or hair's down. It's like you don't kind of notice the subtlety of it like slowly progressively going down until it's in like a position that's either really, really uncomfortable or like you're suddenly aware that you're hot again because your hair's down, kind of thing. And I don't have particularly thick hair or anything. I've got very, very fine hair, so if my hair goes down on its own, like slips out of a hair tie or whatever I mean, I don't tend to notice, not straight away. I tend to notice as soon as like my ears start getting warm, because I have a long fringe and it kind of sits a little bit over my ears. Because I don't think about it, I tuck it back behind my ears, so my ears start getting hot. That's the only way I notice that like shit's changed. It's called change blindness, by the way. A lot of people actually have it. It's not like a legit condition or anything like that. Please let me like clarify that. It's more of like a observation thing that like you could probably change your t-shirt. Like if you invited a friend over to your house and they were hanging out and you walked into a room wearing one thing and you walked out of a room wearing a similar shape but completely different shirt, they probably wouldn't notice. That's what change blindness is. And it's the same thing applies to like haircuts and hair colors and all sorts of stuff, right? Sorry, I know I'm coughing a lot. But yeah, most people don't tend to notice when something like that happens. And the same thing can happen like when you're actively like wearing something. It's how sometimes like if you're walking around, if you have something draped over like a satchel, like a jumper or I don't even know what else, but like if you have something just draped over something and it falls off, it can take you a while to immediately notice that it's like not there. It's the exact same thing as like when you have like a pet that's like laying on you or laying with you, and then like you look over and you thought that they were still with you, but now they're not even in the same room, stuff like that. That's the same thing as change blindness. So it's just like one of those like really fucking weird things that I don't know, apparently I don't notice it until I'm into like some serious weather, like hot cold kind of stuff. Like the in-between seasons I don't really notice if like my hair goes down on its own or if it's still up. The other thing too is because I like casually go between any of those styles, like I'm not actively thinking about it. Like if I was to go to a job and I'd put my hair up, I would notice if it's not up anymore. But because I'm like at home just doing whatever, I just don't notice. Like I could have been like, I don't know, subconsciously like playing with my ponytail or something like that, and then before I know it, like the hair tie's gotten loose and like, I don't know, worked its way down kind of thing. I imagine that that's mostly maybe how it happens. It can't always be, because I mostly do that when I'm like passively laying down. Looking around, waiting, tail happily. No, what are you looking around for, Viking? What are you searching for? Shadow's at an appointment. Grim was here earlier. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it. It's had Joke Master was here like a little while ago. I don't really like super keep track, like I'm aware of people like coming and going and stuff like that. I might not be able to carry that. But yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, there you go. It's all good. I'm not, sorry, I wasn't calling you out of like just chilling and stuff. I was just like pointing out to Viken that, like, there's probably people around. Because as I said, like, I don't see the numbers and anything, so, like, when Viken's looking around, I assume that he's looking for someone. That's always my assumption, is I assume that Viken's specifically looking for a person that, like, he likes, like, hanging out with or, like, getting pats of feathers and stuff from. So, I normally just, like, rattle off the people that I know that Viken kind of, like, keeps an eye out for or kind of, like, hangs out with and stuff. But yeah. Sorry. You can go back to chilling. It's perfectly fine. I didn't mean to, like, be like, are you here or not? It's like, people can lurk. I just was, like, mentioning it. I can't probably carry that. Not probably, or... Yeah, that's not gonna, like, help my situation. I'm gonna have to go back. There you go. That's head wagging tail gives feather to Joke Master. Oh man, my shoulders are killing me. I keep trying to, like, stretch them as much as I can when I come back to town. Because, like, everything kind of aches just a little bit. If I can crunch stuff, it feels better, you know? Get rid of that. I would like to keep the extra health, but I don't really have anything else I can get rid of in my stash at this point. I need that identified, though. Gracefully accept feathery gift. No.
Yes.
That way, so happily smiling. If Viken has a lot of feathers and stuff, there used to be an art program. I think it was like maybe Corel Draw or CS Draw. I think those are the same things, but I'm not 100% sure. There used to be one that had this like really gorgeous, like, I don't know, rainbow feather that was just like, it looked like all kinds of paint, but semi-realistic feather at the same time. I used to love that. Probably like, I don't know, one of the more favorite kind of depictions of a feather. It's like I can't really think of any specific kind of feather that exists in like reality and stuff that I specifically like, you know, like a specific bird's feather or something like that. I can't really think of one. Although I do kind of like collecting feathers if I can for like the cats. Where is my way down from here? I think it was up in the corner. Yeah, up in the corner. Yeah, usually when I'm out and about, or at least I used to do this, I don't tend to get random feathers from like random places anymore. If a feather's in my yard, I'll pick it up and I'll bring it inside for the cats to kind of investigate. Like, they mostly just want to shove it up their nose, I've noticed. Like, they get like that side angle, like lip lifted, kind of like shoving it as far in as they could possibly get thing. And then of course, you know, like the actual like, I don't know what the like the spine of the feather, maybe? I'm not sure what it's called. Kind of has, I don't know. I tend to find like my cats like to chew on that. I assume it has bird flavor. Like, you'd want to hope, but like, I assume that's what they're like doing it for more so. It could also just be like the crunchiness as well. Like, they don't like eat the feather or anything, but like they definitely fucking destroy it after a while. I was just realizing where I am. I don't think... No, once I go past the Ancient's Way, I think that's when I have to deal with Bile laughing and like doing attacks and stuff all the time. I kind of wish that they would poison enemies and stuff when that happens, but I don't see it ever do it. Rude Blade. Alright. A lot of stash. I love these little bastards. They're like, come here, come here. These razor spines. They're not quite the quilbies, but the same thing. Basically, I like them. They're like my favorite creature in Diablo, to be honest.
I am
is like the quilbies things. It's the noise that they make. Obviously, I fucking love the sounds of Diablo. Meanwhile, it's being as dramatic as possibly can be. But yeah. Next time I get near one of these, I'd love to be able to zoom in and for it to get louder. These guys. I love these kind of creatures. I don't know why. They like just make like the coolest sound. It's like a little like purring-ish noise, kinda. I don't know. I have 3 cockatiels, so I have a lot of grey-white feathers, approximately like the hen. Nice. Yeah, I had cockatiels as well. I had a white one, my brother had a black one and stuff. And yeah, my parents used to, whoa, shit. My parents used to like breed cockatiels and budgies and stuff. You know why? Nothing but cool sound. I honestly think that most of what I like about Diablo is the sounds. Honestly. A lot of people are like, this looks like Diablo, you might like it. I'm like, I hate it. You know, that's generally how I respond to like most of like the Diablo-ish recommendations that I get. It's always been that way, by the way. That's nothing against anybody specifically. I have always responded that way. My whole life, whenever somebody's recommended something Diablo-ish. But like the sounds and stuff, I think is what makes this game itself kind of thing. Because there's a lot of like attack sounds and weapons and fire. Like they made choices. They made a lot of choices when they like chose how is fire going to sound. Like, is it going to sound like crackling? Is it going to sound like a whoosh kind of noise? Like, what are they going to choose? And they chose the sounds that they did. I like the sounds that they chose. You know, it's really weird because like I've never had any other game make me think about the decisions of creating the game as much as Diablo has ever made me think about how it came to exist, kind of thing, you know? Which is probably also one of those things why I like it, probably. Because, like, I can, like, it's nostalgia, it's like my favorite game, it is my favorite game, but, like, I can never really put my finger on specifically what it is. And I think it's probably a lot of, like, makes me think of stuff that I never would normally, maybe. That could have something to do with it. I am generally a person that likes being in thought, so, like, I don't know. Maybe the fact that it makes me think of questions and stuff that I normally wouldn't is enjoyable, but I reckon it's like probably 90% the sounds. It's like,
Good
listen.
morning.
No. Come on, try that again, mate. I'll walk away and we'll come back as if that will take 2. No, he won't talk now. He won't talk to me. Maybe he'll talk to somebody else.
What is it?
Kane won't say his, like, line. I have to, like, go away and come back to Kane.
The morning comes.
I don't mind him saying good morning, right? But there's so many other ones that he does that just sounds nicer to me, you know? Yeah, the good morning and just hello. Hello is not too bad, I don't mind hello. But, like, the good morning one just, I don't know why, it just feels off to me a little bit. It's always been there, but it just feels weird. It doesn't feel right. Stay a while and listen. It very much is. I actually fucking couldn't resist throwing a joke in like that the other day. I was talking to someone and I'm like, I don't know what it was. I was making a joke about, like, with Diablo and stuff, that, like, all it would take for somebody to, like, decide whether or not they enjoy what I do is to stay a while and listen. And I'm like, I can't even get through the sentence with a serious face. Like, that's how much I amuse myself with the whole, like, thing. And I know that's, like, terrible, but I love it. Like, yeah. I couldn't not, like, make a reference like that because it's true. Like, in Diablo, you stay a while and you listen, you learn the story, and you hear, like, what's going on and stuff. And it's a story that's getting told, and it's cool. But, yeah, as for, like, playstyle and stuff like that, it really just comes down to, like, if you guys want to see what I'm doing and stuff, all you need to do is stay a while and listen. I could probably put some more emphasis on, like, trying to sound like Kane, but I can't stop smiling every time I say it, so I can't get the phrasing right, you know? I'd like to. I think it would be funny, but I legitimately, like, I'm beaming with, like, the hugest smile right now. Like, I can't deal with it. It's just stupidly funny to me. And I do get that it's, like, actually pretty funny, like, lame type stuff, but I love that lame shit, you know? It's also swag and forces sits on you with blush. No. I can doze off again. I don't know. I definitely do, like, enjoy getting to play this. It took me a while to kind of, like, I don't know. I think I was a little bit worried initially playing Diablo on stream, like choosing to like play it, because I'm like, I love Diablo 2 so much, right? And I'm like, what if people ruin this for me? Was really my first and only thought and concern about like streaming Diablo, because you know there are people out there that will do that, but I'm like, it's very hard to ruin this apparently. Like, I'm not challenging anybody to do so, like, just let me enjoy what I enjoy, but like, I like the fact that like every week I feel like somewhat fucking rejuvenated by this game, but just getting to be here and like play it.
Overburdened.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to carry that scythe out. Maybe. But yeah, it's like one of those like rare games that can do that. Like for instance, I usually get that from RimWorld pretty like solidly. I usually feel like pretty good after like RimWorld as well. At the moment, for like the last month or so, probably a little over a month now, RimWorld has been beyond epically challenging to me. And I enjoy the challenge, but the intensity of the stress makes me sick. As you guys know, with like my medical conditions and stuff like that, like stress makes me sick. Stress makes most people sick, but I get a little bit sicker quicker kind of thing. So that's probably what's like upsetting my stomach and whatnot. But I can't do much about it because I still want to play through as best I can and see if they'll live and whatnot. But yeah, normally I've got like, I don't know, the win, I don't know, I guess like the happiness noises with like RimWorld and Diablo 2. I also like 7 Days to Die, but I don't so much get like happiness noises with it. I kind of just like, I don't know, I enjoy like relaxing and exploring, and I don't know, I get caught off guard. I'm very on guard with 7 Days. Because like, everything just pops out and scares me. Like fucking Monday, anybody that did not see Monday's 7 Days to Die, right, is I got attacked by a fucking dog horde, right? And like a dog horde usually happens like the day after Blood Moon. One of them, right? It only happens on like, I think the 9th day or about then. It's been pretty consistent for a long time. You can kind of predict when it's coming, but they changed some settings when they released 7 Days officially. And one of the settings that they obviously changed is what spawns when and where and how. So I got Dog Pack, which of course scared the ever-loving shit out of me because it literally just appeared and I just heard growling. That's all I heard. Was I knew that there was a dog nearby, and I climbed something and then I looked down, there's 6. And I'm like, well shit. But then straight after that, as soon as I killed that and I was still harvesting the meat, bam, there was a fucking screamer horde. I'm like, what the fuck? And of course, anybody that doesn't know 7 Days to Die, a singular screamer will scream and attract a cluster of zombies, right? And then you have to fight her and the zombies. But she can scream like multiple times, right? So the thing is that it spawned, I think, 6 screamers, which meant I had 6 times pack of zombies. So all of a sudden I was just fucking overwhelmed with like basically a Blood Moon once a week event level fucking amount of zombies right after being spooked by dogs. So it was fucking stressful. I was actually really surprised I made it through that, especially since like I used up all of my ammo, but I did still have some like arrows left, luckily. I'll do it for you guys in a second. I'm going down this way. Oh shit, I maybe made a bad choice here. Yeah, I still had arrows, but I don't have enough arrows, and I do not have any ammo to deal with the Blood Moon that's like, you know, the chronological next day in game. So next Monday, fuck knows how that's gonna go. Also, I did think of a way to deal with RimWorld too. So I don't know why it took me so long to like figure it out, but I was actually explaining a plan of attack in RimWorld the other day for how I was going to deal with a ancient danger that I had on my map. Oh god, go extra fast. Yeah, so anyway, I had planned to like open up